All right, Robin Black here from Monster Zim. We're at Jackson Winklejohn in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Cub Swanson, Brandon Gibson. And we're going to look at a couple of things that Cub did in the fight with Du Ho Choi. So first of all, there was a moment in that fight where you were throwing a looping left hook and he was catching you with the right hand and you looked like he caught you pretty clean. Do you remember that moment?
Yeah, so I mean that was the biggest thing was he's always loaded right here, ready to fire, and we knew that. We knew that it was dangerous. So we didn't want to give him that option ever. I always wanted to be far this way or far this way. But in one time when I was trying to put him away and maybe
got a little excited.
Got excited, and I was here and I went to throw a big looping left hook and he caught me just on the inside. And you're totally out of position. It rocked me back all the way to the cage, and he tried to finish me after that. And it was a momentum shift.
Now, sometimes you can use that little lesson that he learned against you, and that's what you did later on in that fight.
Yeah, so exactly. I was able to learn from that and recognize it, and knew that he would always try to go back to that moment. And so later in the fight, I believe we were standing up, and he wanted kind of a clean break, and his hands were here. And I remember going right, left, right. And he took a step back and I chased him. And I knew that he would think that after my right comes a big left hook. So in his mind, I could see in his eyes that he was looking for that moment of success that he had earlier. So after that right, I chased him and he thought this was coming and I threw my right again.
So I
doubled up with the same right, and that was one of the biggest shots I landed. His head kind of turned sideways, and being able to see what he wanted to do to me and make that change of rhythm pattern, it worked out for me.
So that little lesson that he had learned, that little bit of success, you actually made a detriment to him, that he was going to anticipate having that success again. You could anticipate that he would anticipate that, and you changed it up.
Yes, I'm not saying I'm a genius.
See a genius,
Brandon definitely has some moments. In the middle of the fight, your instincts kick in, and I was able to make that adjustment on the fly, and I'm very grateful I was able to do it.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was, as you know, that was just a wonderful fight. People are going to talk about it forever.
For sure.
Now, there was another moment in there, I believe, where he's got a really beautiful left hook. And he lands it really well. He's super efficient with it. You took advantage of that during that fight. Do you remember that moment?
Yeah. We looked at a lot of tape, and I saw earlier in his career he really used that left hook. And then in his UFC fights, he kind of used his left hook to put your head right where he wanted for his right hand, which once again we were trying to avoid. So we were looking at tape on that, and in sparring there was a couple guys that I was falling short and they were able to left hook me. So we worked on that, went back to the drawing board, and I learned that if I threw my right, and as he was throwing that, I would come through under, right, and want to throw something. And then I was learning that if I didn't touch him with something, they would just get out of the way, and then I would be too far, and then it's who lands their right hand better. So then, after that, I learned here, post, okay, kind of like just a punch to the chest, and it lifts up their body. So then I can come through with a big right hand before he can land his right hand.
And it just kind of corrals them over ever so slightly, or if not pushes them over, the line straightens them up a bit.
Exactly. It basically just puts his chin on a pedestal is what we talk about. Instead of him angling off and being ready for me, it just made him do this. And then by the time he's ready to strike me, my punches are coming. So once again, I throw check hooks, I post, right at him.
Awesome stuff. Thanks, man. Thanks, Coach.
And then if I want to be longer, I'm going.
Which works way better after you've already done the regular range.
This is a change of rhythm. It strikes from further away, and it's like.
Hey guys, let's train.
I can just literally just go, and it hits from so far away.
It's so talking about how rules are being broken. Don't overextend, don't lean. But that rule is not like, don't do it when you're an amateur. Don't do it early. But now, really,
Don't cross your feet.
Yeah, exactly. There's, we were talking, I can kick you from here, but I can't punch you. I can if I move that. It's all of a sudden. Yeah. Which all I've done is put my chest to kick it. in
Oh,
punching.
my management.
Yes.
Now I can punch it. And that is a risk, so we just fix the risk. The risk is I'll get hit. It's just not get hit. You see that? Ferguson's doing a lot of that. I've seen that a lot.
It's like that Sugar Ray Robinson
Yeah.
knee crossway Cub gets his hip back and his shoulder back and his leg loaded.
Yeah.
It's so greater than what you're looking. Your brain is stopping there, and then I'm able to.
And it's kind of insulting too, so it can undermine your confidence.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Like I told people, right the point when I fought what's his name? Ross Pearson.
Oh, yeah.
I switched stance. I threw a step on his foot on accident and hit him in the chest.
Yeah.
And he fell.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Why didn't you trick?" Like people were mad that I stood there and like taunted him. I knew he wasn't hurt.
Yeah.
I knew he just fell.
Yeah.
So I just taunted him because the whole time I was trying to poke the bull to get him to come at me like over
Fight down, which he does.
And yeah, so
he
once I
does.
frustrated him
Yeah.
is when I got the knockout because he was like, you know, and so I was just poking the bull and then finally he came extra hard and, you know, it worked out for my favor.
Something about the natural nature of your overhand right to how that step right from southpaw. Something in the body structure.
It's fun.
Yeah, you can tell.
The thing that amazed me about the Duo Choi fight is I don't have as much control with it. So in practice, even with pro boxers, headgear 16s, sometimes I'd be like, "Beep,"
Yeah.
and I'd see him do this,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, "Fuck, I'm not trying to hurt him."
Yeah.
And I'll feel bad,
Yeah.
but it's just like, it happens,
Yeah.
and I don't have as much control.
Actually, that stepping right, the overhand right you caught, what's his name with it, dropped him. Root.
Oliveira.
Root.
You know what's funny is I got from throwing that punch too much a while back. I had to get surgery, like a baseball player
Yeah. That rotator cuff?
No.
Oh,
gets that
yeah.
that nerve.
Double.
What do we get out of the fake jab? Brandon, what do we get out of faking that jab instead of just doubling the jab?
Well, so doubling early on, I like Cub setting a pattern where I'm either looking to parry or I'm making defensive movements. But I'm just trying to time it. Then when Cub puts that the feint jab, it's like a half beat, right? So boom, 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 boom.
Like on the and in drumming.
Exactly. So it's just an offbeat punch, and it sets up Cub's big right cross, which he's so good with, he's so rangy with.
Which also a lot of people don't understand is when I'm here, most people don't turn their rights over.
Right.
A lot of Muay Thai guys only throw it here. I'll shoot through or step through.
Mm-hmm.
So if they think like I'm out of range, I will step through.
Right. Good. Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
they automatically are setting that
Mm-hmm.
that distance barrier. Oh, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Boom.
There's an artificial
And then they
barrier.
get dropped because they're on their heels.
They get used to making the defensive movements off the pattern, right? So they're maybe I'm just stepping back on the double jabs,
Right.
or he's making a slip bail motion, but those are usually guys make one or two defensive moves max, and then they get second have to either counter or get hit. And what Cub's doing is making me make my defensive move.
Right. And
And I'm still in this
the little
range.
fake jab tells him where to throw his right hand on your reaction to the jab.
So as we remind you, set the pattern. One more thing.